We are Rogue Media Sports.
You get a draw. You get a draw. You get a draw. Everyone gets a draw except Spurs. Obviously. Manchester United, why can't you play like this every week? Why can't you play like this every week? This is 2025. This is Minor Football Fans Podcast. Let's go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Minor Football Fans Podcast and happy New Year. We're so excited to be back. We're so excited to be back to bring you all the tea around the football world. Yes. I hope you all had an amazing holiday period. Again, happy New Year, happy 2025. So glad you all could join us. Thank you so much. From me and everyone here at Minor Football Fans, happy New Year to you all. Yes. Let's get it going. This is Minor Football Fans Podcast, your go-to for all things Premier League football and football in general. So thank you so much for joining us. If you are new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when we drop new episodes, because we do release new episodes after every match week. So if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, then hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when we drop content for you all. And also, don't forget, this is not the only place you can find us. Listen to Minor Football Fans Podcast wherever you get your podcast, on all podcast platforms. We are on all podcast platforms, so please check us out. And you know the vibe. So thank you so much. Thank you to all our existing subscribers already. Obviously, without you all, this show would not be possible. So thank you all so much. Thank you, and thank you to all our new subscribers in advance. Thank you so much. We love you all. So yes, Minor Football Fans, Premier League. This is match week 20. We are way past the midway point of the season. Yes, we're way past the midway point of the season. Match week 20 just concluded, or rather, by the time this episode will drop, we would have concluded the last game being played today by the time this episode is being aired. That being said, before we get into all the talking points, before we say anything, to be 20 games into the match week is crazy. So many things have happened in the last episode we dropped was match week 18, match week 17, I think. In between then and now, so much has happened. The table has changed. Lots of things have happened. We're not going to dive deep into like past results. We will talk about it. Like we'll reference some of the past results, but we're just focusing this week on match week 20. Yes. So starting off with the game of the week. Yes, happy 2025, beautiful people. Starting off with the game of the week. Liverpool to Manchester United 2. Before I go any further, I'm not the only one that thought this. You all thought it. Everyone thought it. Everyone literally said, everyone thought, yes, Liverpool are going to batter Manchester United. It was an absolute battering in making. Everyone had the same thoughts. You all don't lie. Even United fans, you all don't lie too. You all thought the same thing. Anyways, and why did we think that? Well, Liverpool are in the form of their lives. Like, I can't remember the last time Liverpool were in this form. Probably, okay, no, actually, going back to like the 2019 season, 2019-2020 season, that COVID season when they won the league, where they won like their first, 19 games. Like, that's the last time I remember them being in this form of their lives. But that being said, Liverpool have gotten the better of Manchester United at Anfield in the past. What the last time they won was like when Louis Van Gaal was the manager, and that was all the way dating back to 2016. Jesse Lingard was the last player to score at Anfield for Manchester United. I can't remember when that is. So much has happened since that time. That's crazy. But also because Manchester United were terrible in the last few weeks. Well, terrible is an understatement, to be honest. Um, but yes, Manchester United were terrible, and Liverpool form of their lives. Everyone was like, "Yeah, this is battering." Liverpool absolutely batter, you know, Manchester United. And I'll be frank, some Manchester United fans were praying for this game to be cancelled. Well, not cancelled, but more like delayed. Obviously, the snow before the game, there was a meeting that was held to like determine the game will move on. And United fans were praying for the game to be delayed. You know, they wanted the game to be delayed. I won't call names. You know, you all know yourselves. But they wanted the game to be delayed, and well, sadly, it wasn't delayed, and the game had to go on. But now back to the actual game. The game started in the first half and it was just terrible. Like I don't okay, not terrible in a not terrible in a both teams didn't show, but terrible in a I feel like no one wanted to grab it at the scruff of the neck. You get what I mean? Like no one wanted to win it. Everyone just was like, okay, let's try to play not to concede a goal at this point. Because even Manchester United came playing that way. They were like, we're going to play not to concede a goal. Liverpool also came the way we're not going to play to concede a goal. Because let's be frank, United could have been goals up in that first half. I'm not even kidding you. They could have been 2 goals up. Diallo had an amazing chance that if he had timed it well, could have been a perfectly good header. And then I think Rasmus Højlund also had a one-on-one that he missed. So if they had played those, they could have been 2-0 up on Liverpool. Anyways, the first half comes, the first half is gone. Bam. We go to the second half. Martinez, Bruno, I don't know what was happening with Trent Alexander-Arnold. I will get to that in a minute. I don't know what's happening with Trent Alexander-Arnold. Martinez finds himself on an island by himself. Bruno just finds a beautiful ball to him and he blasts it on top of the back of the net. And I'm like, Manchester United 1-0 up. No United player has scored at Anfield since Jesse Lingard. I'm like, what's going on? Okay, this might be interesting. And then Liverpool equalize, Gakpo, and then Gakpo leaves the Delete on an island. He literally allows the Delete slide to an island, right? And then, 1-1, and then Salah doing Salah, there's penalty. You can debate with that Kingdom Come if there's a penalty. It is what it is. 2-1. Okay, we're like, okay, now this is Liverpool, this is Manchester United, we know. Right. And then on the 80th minute, Diallo equalizes. Bearing in mind he had a chance in the first half, right? But he equalizes and it's a 2-2 game and they're both playing. And then Harry Maguire on the verge of the whistle. Harry Maguire is left on an island by himself. Ball played to him. Can't remember who played the ball to. I think it was Mazraoui or Amadiala. I can't remember who played the ball to him. He's on an island. Him and Post. Well, obviously not him and Post. Alisson is there, and I think Van Dijk was there. But him on an island to win the game for Manchester United for the first time since 2016. And he plays it over the bar. You know what? I'm not going to say anything about that. I'm not going to blame him. I'm not going to read too deep into it. It is where it is. But Liverpool ended up not winning the game. Some people said Liverpool were complacent. There was an element of complacency in their game, especially in the first half. And to be honest, I think there was. I think Liverpool players they won't admit it, but I think because of the form they were on, and then because Manchester United too were on a ridiculously terrible form. I know that I don't think that's correct English, but we'll use it. We'll go along with it. They lost to Newcastle the week prior. Then I think they had lost to Forest, and I can't remember if we talked about that. I can't remember the exact results, but and then I think they also lost to Wolves too. It was just bad. Manchester United were bad, right? When the trench is almost closer to relegation than they were to even, top half of the table. But there was a complacency from Liverpool players in the first half. I think you could see it in the play. They were like, oh, these guys are not that good. All the outside noise obviously affected them. The fans also took a bit of complacency too. That was also really bad. So I think that's kind of what. And then also Manchester United actually showed up. They showed up and they played. Like, why can't they play like this all week? Last week we saw what happened against Newcastle. If you've watched it, First 14, 15 minutes, they were 2-0 up. Sorry, 2-0 down. And bear in mind, obviously, the team was changed. Don't get me wrong, the team was bad last week, but still 2-0 in the first 15 minutes. That was bad. This time, the team was different. The players showed up. Bruno was back. You had the midfield of Ugarte and Kobe Mainoo in there. Just absolute studs in the midfield. I think they controlled. Dallo took control of that Liverpool's right hand side. And I said we'll get to that in a minute. So let's actually get to that now. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Yes. Last week there were reports that came out that Real Madrid had put in a bid for Alexander-Arnold because we all know his contract is expiring. Not just him actually, him, Van Dijk, and Salah. Their contracts are expiring this end of the season, right? And there's a possibility that out of all those three, Trent might be the one to leave, and he will leave on a free, right? So that being my obviously Real Madrid being the powerhouse they are, came in and put a 20 million pound bid, which is, I think, to be honest, was crazy for them, and I think that got rejected. So there's a theory out there that says Alexander-Arnold was quite distracted with all these rumors, all these things that come out. And credit to Slot, he came out after a game in spite of the criticism that Trent received because of his performance in the game, defended his player, credit to him. But yeah, there was a theory that was like Trent is distracted and that was what affected his performance. I'll go a different route and say I think all the criticism, because he was criticized a lot throughout the week about all these rumors and how Real Madrid this, that. I think it's the criticism that kind of affected him. I don't think it's the fact that Real Madrid came. No, I don't think that is what it is. I think it's the criticism that came from all the reports coming out that kind of affected him. I think that's kind of where he stood, and that's kind of what affected his performance. And I think next week he'll be back to his best. I think, I think he'll be back because he knows there's someone waiting for him that if he plays like this again, and the Slot will not even think twice. Conor Bradley, you are in. So I think Trent knows what he needs to do. That being said, absolute game. That second half was a game. Again, I said Harry Maguire could have won it for Manchester United. I think, and I'm going to. This is one of my hot takes of 2025. We'll get to that later in the show. If United had won this game, it would have kickstarted their season. And I know I said this when they beat City. I know I said that when they beat City, but I'm saying it again now. I think this result is kickstarting their season. I think this is where you get to see Amron ball. Yeah, I think it's where you get to see Amron ball. So one of my hot takes, we'll get to that later on in the show. But yeah, Liverpool to Manchester United. So this result meant that, and we'll also come into that in I think in the next few minutes, meant that Liverpool now has 6 points. 6 points ahead of Arsenal in second place. Obviously, Arsenal drew, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But this result meant that Liverpool are 6 points ahead of Arsenal with a game in hand. It could have been 8. I think if it was 8, if Liverpool actually won this game, it was 8. It would have been bad. I don't see how Arsenal would have. Anyways, that didn't happen, so we're not even going to read too deep into it. But yeah, 6 points top of the table. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. We don't know. Let's see. Let's see. But big ups to Manchester United. Amazing performance. I think this is probably excluding the performance against City. I don't think they played well against City. I just think they held on long enough and they scored some really good goals at the end. In terms of performance wise, this is probably their best performance since against Everton, where they put 4 past Everton. So credit to Manchester United. Liverpool, just keep doing what you need to do, Liverpool. Moving on, Crystal Palace won, Chelsea won. Chelsea being one of the teams that, being one of the teams that are in the title race. Or should I say, yeah, one of the teams in the title race. Yes, Chelsea were one of the teams in the title race until 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, in which they fell to Fulham at home. 2-1 fall to Fulham at home. Then they lost to Ipswich away 2-0. And now they come face Crystal Palace. and then they draw 1-1. I'll start like this. What an assist by Jadon Sancho. I saw a stat where in Jadon Sancho's 83 games at Manchester United, or 60 something, I can't remember the exact number of games he had at Manchester United. He had 6 assists. In his 16 games at Chelsea, he's had 6 assists. That's crazy. But yeah, crazy assist by Jadon Sancho where he, you know, I don't know what the skill is called precisely, but like the ball is coming to him, he lets it roll past the defender and then goes around the defender, and then he body checks another defender and then just slides it to Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer, slots it over for 1-0. And we're like, okay, this is Chelsea looking like the Chelsea we've been seeing, the Chelsea that we call title contenders. And then they, for the next 60, 20, 70 something minutes, nothing. And then Palace take advantage and they score from a loose ball. Kopama loses the ball and they take advantage and they score. Chelsea, are they still in title race? Maybe. I know I've said this weeks back that yes, Chelsea, you are in title race, you are this many points from Liverpool, da 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 da. Now asking myself the question again, are they in the title race? Maybe, maybe. We don't know. I don't know. Maybe they are. I don't know. Was it? Yeah, I think they are still fourth. Forest is above them right now. Something along those lines. Are they still in the title race? Maybe they are. I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, Chelsea are fourth now, 10 points behind Liverpool, with Liverpool having a game in hand. Ask me this 10 games to go left, 10 games left in the season, and I'll answer this. But yeah, Chelsea won, Crystal Palace won. Chelsea, one of the teams that won in title race, falling short, dropping points. Moving on, Tottenham won, Newcastle 2. I said in my intro, I said everyone gets a draw except Spurs. Well, first of all, I'll start like this. I think Spurs were very unlucky. I'm not even trying to sugarcoat it. I think Spurs were very unlucky. Or rather, Spurs have just been unlucky this season. This season have been terrible for Spurs in terms of injury wise. There are two big central defenders out almost all throughout the whole season, out with an injury. Then their goalkeeper to Vicario out also. Then you lose Destiny Dogi. Only Pedro Porro out of their starting back five is fit. And I think that's crazy. I think that's just been in, yeah, that's just been really unlucky for Spurs. So on one hand, I can say yes, Spurs are just really terrible and they're those Spurs being Spursy. But then on the other hand, they have just been really unlucky. I think if they had their standard back four, I don't think the results they have been getting over the course of the few weeks, because they have been terrible. Their last few games, they have been terrible. We're talking about like losing, other than this loss to Newcastle, then they lost to, and then they drew to Wolves, and then they lost to Forest. Like it's just been terrible for them, you know. So I think two things can be true. Yes, Spurs are not that good, and Ange doesn't want to change his style of play. But I think they have also been unlucky. But coming back to this game, yes, I think Spurs were just also unlucky this game. I think the Isak goal, or is it the Golden goal? I can't remember which of them should have not been given a goal, because I remember it's in the process of play, they played the ball and it hits Jolinton's hand. I think they have the right to say that was a goal. Spurs, I think, should have also been awarded a penalty too. I think because of a handball in the Newcastle box too. So, as Ange would say, if this was a level playing field, if everything was level playing, they should have won the game. I won't go that much, but I will say Spurs were unlucky. I think some officiating decisions just did not go their way. So that bearing in mind, yeah, Spurs. I think Spurs now are 12th in the table, or 13, something like that. Very bad. I think they have lost half as much of their games this season, which is crazy. They've lost like 10 games this season, which is mental. Mental. Um, Yeah, Spurs are 12th with 10 losses in the season. It's crazy. Mental, crazy. But credit to Newcastle. Newcastle looks to have been finding to have found their form. Next up, obviously, a trip to Arsenal, or is it Arsenal coming to St James Park for the EFL Carabao Cup semi-final? So credit to Newcastle finding their form at the right time. Now they have moved up to fifth. Fifth, 1 point ahead Man City. So credit to Newcastle. Big ups to Gordon, big ups to Isak. Moving on, Brighton 1, Arsenal 1. As an Arsenal fan, I'm not going to say too much on this. We're just going to call it what it is. We all know what happened at the Emirates, the red card, and then Brighton found their form. Pedro scoring the goal there, Joao Pedro scoring the goal there. And then I've come to the Amex, and the same thing happens again. Arsenal take the lead, and we're playing. First half, I think Arsenal had control of the game. Fair enough, you know, scored one, should have scored two, three. I don't know what happened. And then Brighton second half just come and take control of the game. Like the way they took control of that game was crazy. The way Brighton took control of that game was just mental. Mental. So but credit to Brighton, credit to them taking the game. It probably should have been to be frank, Arsenal should have lost that game. I'm not even trying to sugarcoat it because Arsenal created nada in the second half. Nada. Nothing was created in the second half. Brighton had two excellent chances after the penalty, along these lines. Even before the penalty, even there was a time where Jorginho, I think even before they equalized, Brighton should have even equalized earlier because there was a chance that Jorginho, I don't know what he was doing, allowed them get the ball or allowed the ball get stolen off him, and then bam, they missed the chance. But credit to Brighton, Arsenal are lucky because Liverpool have won that game 8 points. We're talking about 8 points clear with Liverpool, possibly 11 points clear with Liverpool if Liverpool had played their game against Everton. I don't think Arsenal were prepared to close that gap. But it's 6 points now with a game in hand behind Liverpool. I think it's still doable. I think it's still doable. One of my hot takes of 2025, we'll see. I think it's still doable. So let's see. Let's see. But credit to Brighton. Arsenal, yeah, I know we had to injuries, suspensions, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Credit to Brighton. Moving on. Manchester City 4, West Ham 1. Looks like Manchester City have found their form. Looks like Haaland has found his form. 3 goals in his last 2 games. Credit to him. Savinho on the left is a monster. So I don't think Jack Grealish can get into this. Don't tell me anything. I don't think Jack Grealish can get into this team. Savinho has just been electric. The balls he's played for Haaland has been crazy. I saw a stat where Grealish hasn't assisted Haaland since 2023, and Doku hasn't assisted Haaland at all. And obviously, yes, Grealish has been injured. Don't get me wrong, Grealish has been facing his injury problems. Doku here and there, but that is crazy. Those are your wingers, not assisting your number 9 is crazy. Or having not assisted your number 9 since, is that their treble winning season? Yes, that's their treble winning season. That is mental. And yes, Grealish was on form at that point, but that's a mental start. But yeah, City finding their form at the right time. Obviously, they are still a few points away from, well, talk close to 8 points away from Liverpool. Obviously, I don't think Liverpool will go on a rough patch of losing like 4 in a row or losing 2 in a row and draw 1. And then City, as I said, City can still go on a run and end up winning the league. But I still think City are still volatile and they might lose two, 3 games here and there. Just they have 6 losses this season. That's crazy. That is crazy. Anyways, credit to Man City, credit to moving on. No, that's not it. We'll get to that in a minute. Moving on, Aston Villa to Leicester 1. Good game by Aston Villa. Leicester, I'm kind of scared. With Van Nistelrooy, I am kind of scared. But I believe he'll pick it up. I believe he'll find the form at the right time. Maybe one of my hot takes of 2025. I don't know. I've been mentioning that a lot, but we'll see. Aston Villa, good game. Good to see Leon Bailey back on the score sheet. good to see Ross Barkley back on. I absolutely love Ross Barkley. I don't know what it is. I just love him as a player. Like I remember when he used to touch Arsenal when he was at Everton. Him and Lukaku used to touch Arsenal those times. So, but I absolutely love him as a player. I think he's phenomenal. Yeah, but good to see Leon Bailey back on the score sheet. It's been a minute since we last saw him on the score sheet. So big win for Villa, especially after what happened last week where they drew to Brighton, and the week before that, I think they lost to. The week before that, they lost to. No. The win after they obviously beat City, then they lost to. Oh no, then they drew to Brighton. My bad, I apologize. So yeah, big win for Villa. Big win for Villa. Leicester started to get worried. Let's see. As I said, the things might turn around, but let's see. Moving on, Southampton 0, Brentford 5. Brentford bringing out their anger from last week against Arsenal and then putting it on Southampton. Yeah, I don't know. Southampton is done. Southampton is done. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. This is what it is. Like, you can change the manager, you can do all you want to do. Southampton is done. The season is done for them. Back to the championship they go. Brentford, wow. Wow. 5 goals to the goal, 5-star performance from them. From minute 6, they did not let go. And obviously, bear in mind, 12 of the goals, excuse me, 12 of the goals coming in the 90th minute, but wow, till the end of the game, they just held on. So credit to Brentford. Southampton, you're done. You're done. You're done. It's the way it is. Fulham to Ipswich. So coming off the win against Chelsea last week, everyone thought, okay, or rather, I am still thinking, not that I thought, I'm still thinking Ipswich will not get relegated. I don't see, and we'll talk about Everton in a minute. I do not have Ipswich getting relegated. I also do not have Wolves getting relegated. Wolves plays New Nottingham Forest today, by the way. By the time this episode is dropped, they would have played, and I'll give my predictions later in the show. But I don't see Everton getting relegated. I don't see Wolves getting relegated. I don't see Ipswich getting relegated. I don't know who will get relegated if those three teams don't get relegated. I mean, as I said, so, and I'm also going to give a hot take of, but that will come later. Hot takes, yeah, that will come later in the show. But yeah, big. I think this is a good point for Ipswich. 90+1 penalty was kind of tough on them. They could, if they had won this game, they would have been out of the relegation zone and then been putting more pressure on teams like Everton and the rest. But good point for them. I think they played very well in this game, just like they did against Chelsea. That Chelsea game was also a shocker too. So yeah, Fulham are just coasting. It's kind of like just coasting, you know what I mean? They're just coasting. So big ups, big result for them, big result for Ipswich, big points for Ipswich rather. Moving on, last game of the match week before obviously that has been played. For as I said, Forest plays Wolves later today. Bournemouth 1, Everton 0. Bournemouth are just flying. I say if we had to, I'm saying this, if we had to give manager of the season right now, let's keep Arne Slot for a minute. Arne Slot, yeah, we know what he's doing at Liverpool. Let's keep Nuno out for a minute. And Iraola, what he's doing at Bournemouth is, we're talking about, yes, Forest is one of them, but Bournemouth, the story they are writing this season is mental. The fairy tale story they are writing this season is mental. It's crazy what they are doing this season. Like, because right now they are 7th, 1 point behind City, 2 points. They are 3 points behind Chelsea for 4th. So what I'm saying, let me put this in perspective. Chelsea lose their next game, Brighton win their next game. Brighton can catapult to 4th position. I cannot remember last time I ever said Brighton. I can't even remember a time I thought of Brighton being in 4th position. What Andy Iraola is doing for Bournemouth, sorry, not Brighton, Bournemouth is crazy. I can't remember. It's mental. Credit to Bournemouth. Everton. Ah, I keep saying that. I know Sean Dykes always find a way. Yes, there are some plagues, and it is what it is. But yeah, it is what it is. To round up the match week, my prediction for Forest and Wolves. Forest and Wolves that will be played later today. Forest have been good, but Wolves have been in kind of this honeymoon stage, kind of new manager. Ah, I'm going to go for a Wolves win. I'm going to go for a Wolves win. I think Wolves will see this one through. I think Wolves will win this. When we come back after in 2 weeks' time, I might not remember, but Wolves might win this game. Wolves will win this game. I have Wolves winning it. Well, yeah, that is match week 20. Match week 20 that saw three of the teams competing, well, practically challenging for the title. Well, Chelsea might have dropped out. Well, three of the potential title contenders all drawing their games. Manchester United not taking a battering at Liverpool, and Manchester City finding form just at the right time. That was match week 20, y'all. So before we round up this episode, I've been saying this and let's get into it. My 2025 hot takes. I said this earlier and I'll say this again. Ipswich, Everton, Wolves would not get, none of those three teams would get relegated. Hold me to this. And maybe Leicester, those four teams. I'm skeptical about Leicester. But Wolves, Ipswich, Everton, none of those teams will get relegated. That's my first hot take. Second hot take, Spurs will fire Ange after the season. Spurs will fire Ange Postecoglou after the season. I don't like it, but I just see that happening. I think Spurs would just, yeah. I think I might even be wrong, and he might not last to the end of the season. But he's not making it through this season. That's another hot take. That's my last hot take. My last hot take, or second to last hot take I have for 2025. Manchester United will finish seventh, Conference League. Manchester United will finish in the Conference League position. Yes, I'm saying this now. Manchester United will finish in Conference League position. Finally, my last hot take of 2025. Obviously, this was my prediction at the start of the season, but now it's looking like a hot take because of where this team is at. Arsenal is winning the league. Come May 2025, Arsenal will hoist their trophy up. And obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan and I might be biased, but obviously, it was my prediction. As I said earlier, it was my prediction. But bear in mind where Arsenal how Liverpool play this season. Come May 2025, Arsenal will hoist the Premier League trophy. Those are my hot takes. Wolves, Ipswich, Everton, none of those teams are getting relegated. Manchester United will finish in Conference League position. Manchester United will finish in Conference League position. I think I'm missing one. Yes, Ange Postecoglou will leave after this season. He will not continue after this season. And last but not least, Arsenal will, come May 2025, hoist the Premier League trophy. Hold me to this. Those are my 2025 hot takes. Let's go. Anyways, yes, thank you all so much for listening to this episode. That brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you all enjoyed it. We'll be back after match week 22. That's pretty much after the North London Derby, because the North London Derby is played midweek. We have midweek fixtures. We have the Carabao Cup semi-final this week, in the midst of this week, and then we have FA Cup over the weekend, and then midweek fixtures, and then match week 21 will be played midweek, and then match week 22 will be played in the weekend. So we'll be back, I believe, the week of January 18th. That's where we'll be back. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we drop new new episodes on the YouTube page. And don't forget to please give us a like. Thank you so much. Our existing and existing subscribers, thank you all so much. And don't forget to like this episode, like this video. Thank you all so much. Don't forget, this is not the only place you can find us. Listen to Mind on the Football Fast podcast on all podcast platforms. If you don't really vibe with YouTube, that's okay. Check us out on Spotify, check us out on whatever part. Don't forget, check us out on socials. Mind on the Football Fast on Instagram and on TikTok. Thank you all so much. We hope you enjoyed this episode. And again, Happy New Year to you all. I'm David. I'm out. Have an amazing week, guys. Thank you.
We are Rogue Media Sports.